Mr. Lee was the most dependable employee in Mr. Tong's company. He performed his job accurately, made no mistakes, and always finished his tasks on time. The problem was that he never dared to try anything new. He had been sitting at the same desk for 10 years and ate lunch at the same restaurant every day.
One day, Mr. Tong called Mr. Lee in for a meeting. "Mr. Lee, I see that your accounting skills are truly perfect. I want to promote you to head of finance. However, this position requires you to frequently give public presentations and make decisions on new projects." Mr. Lee said, "Thank you, Mr. Tong, but may I decline for now? I am happier with my old job. I'm afraid of making a mistake and losing the job I currently have." Mr. Tong was disappointed but understood Lee's fear. The fear of not daring to step out of his comfort zone had become an invisible barrier, trapping him and preventing his progress.
That evening, he saw Miss Naley. She had only worked at the company for 2 years, talking happily about a new project she dared to initiate. Mr. Lee knew he was more competent than Naley, but she was progressing faster than him, simply because she dared to take risks and make mistakes. Mr. Tong gave Mr. Lee one last chance for his self-development by sending him to attend a 1-week leadership training course next week.
During the training, the instructor, Mr. Kota, introduced an experiential game. Each participant had to deliver a 5-minute speech in front of the class about something they learned from a major failure in their life. Mr. Lee was extremely scared. He always avoided speaking in front of many people. When it was his turn, he felt his heart pounding so hard it might explode, and his voice trembled. He said, "I always work for perfection. I'm afraid, extremely afraid of failure. Therefore, I don't dare to try anything new. I'm afraid working." He couldn't continue speaking and sat down with a flushed face. He felt shamefully defeated. But Mr. Kota came up to him and said, "Mr. Lee, the greatest failure is not that you couldn't finish your speech. The greatest failure is not daring to try at all. You dared to step out of your chair and stand here. That is already your first success. When you come here, it means you are clever and want to develop yourself. Thank you for coming today." After that lesson, Mr. Lee was thinking a lot about what Mr. Kota said. He think he need to change his mindset from now to have a chance to develop myself and how to know who I am. I can do it or not by trying to do what I never do before. Finally, he understood that self-development is not about perfection, but about daring to accept imperfection and learning from mistakes. He decided to make changes little by little. He started talking to new employees he had never spoken to before. He started learning a new skill, even though he made mistakes many times. Upon returning from the training, Mr. Lee began taking on new projects outside his old skill set. One day, Mr. Tong decided to give Soka another chance. He appointed Mr. Lee as the team leader for a pilot project involving financial analysis for a new business expansion. Initially, Mr. Lee felt fear again, but he remembered Mr. Kota's words. One can only fly if one dares to jump out of the nest. He began working on the project without demanding that everything had to be perfect. Instead of overthinking, he focused on action over analysis. Instead of hiding mistakes, he dared to ask questions when he didn't know something. The comfort trap. The comfort zone offers temporary ease, but prevents us from long-term growth. The rule of development. Self-development only happens when we dare to confront the discomfort of learning new skills. Use fear as a signal that we are on the path to growth, not as a reason to retreat. During the final project presentation, Mr. Lee stood before the board of directors. He was still afraid, but he was able to manage that fear. He spoke about his analysis with confidence, even though he had to answer many difficult questions. Ultimately, the project was approved. When Mr. Tong congratulated him, Lee responded with a smile. "I am still afraid, but now I know that fear is not the enemy. It is a signal telling me that I am doing something worthwhile." Self-development is a process that occurs outside of our comfort zone. The only way to conquer fear is to take action despite the fear. Mr. Lee was promoted to head of finance in the company. He still made mistakes occasionally, but he had learned that failure is merely a recalibration of the path.
He encouraged his employees to dare to try new things and value the process of development rather than just the final result. Mr. Lee had become a man who dared to fly on his own. He realized that true security did not lie in his old job, but in his ability to learn and adapt to change.